Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's me, Daniel, with vintagemagic.com. My friend Jeremy.
Hello.
Jeremy, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Denver, the capital of
Colorado. And that too.
Hi, I'm Taste. Hi, my name's Randy. Taste Gaming, guys. Shout out to Randy if you're watching this. By the way, thank you so much for this. Come over real quick. I'll show you this. This is a 16-ounce Diet Coke. I've never, ever seen this. It's like a long, but it's long. I don't know what she said. That's what she said. All right, so Jeremy has come and shown us a near complete alpha set, right?
Near complete.
That you bought in
between 2012 and 2016.
Okay, so a range.
Yeah.
And how many cards are missing here?
25.
25. And the key cards are the Blue Power.
Blue Power's missing.
Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orb's missing.
The wheel there or no?
The wheel's there. Geez, I don't know.
But those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones.
Okay.
It's missing a one Mox.
Mox, the Mox Jet.
The Mox.
Or a Sapphire.
Sapphire. That's part of the Blue Power.
Okay.
And the Jet too. The Jet isn't here.
Okay. Is there a reason why you did not complete the set? Or
because it got too expensive. Back in 2012, they were much more easier to attain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, give us an estimate of like prices. So you got the Lotus.
The Lotus, I paid 10 grand.
10 grand.
10 grand for the Lotus.
When was this?
That was 2015 from a guy in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So you actually know where?
Wow. I actually know where. The Doppelganger, I believe I paid $800 for that. The Dragon, another $800 card.
$800.
Yes.
Jesus.
The Emerald, $27.50.
What?
Yeah.
You say $27.50?
$27.50. Not $27. $2,750.
Jesus.
The Howling Mine I got with eBay bucks. So this card was free with eBay bucks.
Right. Well, that's like $500 or less. Wow.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, first off, Heath, get over there real quick. We're at Heath's house. Heath is get together. So Heath and you guys have already seen the set already, right?
Yeah, I saw this before.
So you didn't grade a card.
I didn't grade a single card. I purchased all of these graded.
Why?
Because I didn't want to go through the process and the hassle of sending the cards through the mail. And really, I just don't have a printer. I didn't want to print out the BGS forms. And so I figured I'd just buy them graded.
Easier to buy them graded, right?
Yep.
Are you trolling me?
No, I'm not trolling.
You didn't want to... What the hell? Why do you just say...
There he is right there.
But the thing is, you said earlier it was basically an investment.
It was an investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the 2012, 2016, you basically saw that it was an opportunity to invest in something. Walk through people that are investing. What was your mindset at that moment in time?
My mindset was I collected an unlimited set raw.
Okay.
Once I attained the raw unlimited set, I realized that it was going to be too hard to sell eventually. The condition, these cards are too condition sensitive. So I started to understand that I just need to buy graded cards because then they're a lot easier to sell and easier to know what I have.
Good point.
So then when I started looking at prices of cards, I realized that alpha cards I could afford, maybe not the duals and power all at once, but I could afford the commons, the uncommons, and the rares. So I started with the commons. And then once I bought some commons off of eBay, I asked some guys if they had more, and then I got into uncommons and getting more rares and stuff like that. So a lot of it was networking, talking with people through emails, back and forth on eBay, off of eBay, those types of things. I've never been on the Facebook groups or I've never used any of that.
So you basically did like a Randy Porter Taste Gaming effect. You brokered stuff throughout the world.
Pretty much.
He doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, you were basically, this is great, guys. So a lot of times when you do deals, Heath knows this, you have a network of people that you work with, and you have to basically search and find and work within a budget, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And did you have a budget in mind, or you just kind of had this idea, or?
I knew how much I could spend per week or per month. So one guy in Connecticut, he had a bunch of cards, and he sent me a price list. And from that price list, I was able to attain, 2 or 3 cards at a time. And a lot of the rares, I remember a lot of the mid-range rares being $600. Like I remember in particular the Savannah Lions paying $600 for that. The Tome right next to it, $600. There was a lot on that list. Maybe the Hordes. And yeah, I just remember getting a lot from him. And through that same guy, I was able to trade. I traded, because I had that unlimited set I had originally collected. So I traded that off as well for more cards. So if the guy in Connecticut, I traded him the Lotus, and he sent me like the bulk of the commons and uncommons, really just for the Lotus.
Now, so when you did all this stuff, you had the intent of selling it one day?
Yeah, I really was just enjoying collecting it. And I collected it and collected it and collected it. And then that boom hit in 2016. And it was just harder.
2016?
Was it 2016 when the...
Heath?
2017?
Well, I would say 2018, 2017. Yeah.
Well, once that hit, it was just too hard to continue.
Right. Like the Sapphire, for example, if you get a nice 8.5, it's going to cost like $20K.
Exactly.
And you're not willing to put $20K down.
Not with having this much invested. And another thing I got to say is watching your videos, both you and Rudy talk about finance, got me to understand why I have so much money tied up into this. I kind of like, it doesn't matter what your profit is if you never take profit. If you just always have that profit and you just continue.
That's a good point.
So to me, I've just come to a point where I don't want to pay a mortgage. I would like to sell my house.
Now, you're okay with saying how much you owe on your house?
Yeah.
How much you owe?
180.
100K. And how much your house worth? Just curious.
Oh my God. This is Colorado, so it's gone bananas. Probably right now it's 350, I would say.
Okay, so about double that.
Yeah.
And you're how old?
36.
36.
Yeah.
So do you work?
Absolutely.
And do you have like a family business or?
My family owns a business. I
Is
work
it
for them.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it what kind of industry? Just a general.
Breakfast and lunch restaurant.
Okay. Do you work? Do you actually operate it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have kids, family?
Neither nor.
Girlfriend?
No kids, no wife, no girlfriend.
No girlfriend?
No girlfriend.
No girlfriends?
Maybe if you've got some female viewers watching this.
Yeah.
If I could tell them this, maybe I would.
So we got to see. Jeremy is single, guys. So So if you're looking for a date, Jeremy's going to be very rich here in a second. We'll have to figure this out. So you're basically looking long term. You basically saw that there's a lot of money in these cards, multiple 6 figures, and you realize that it's time to take profits.
Take profits.
And this is the only asset you have for Magic? That's the big stuff?
The big stuff. This is the big stuff. Sure.
Okay, got it.
But I do plan to reinvest in Magic.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely. I'm looking at that ICE International Collector's Edition. Your buddy Clint or
Clint,
Clint,
yeah.
Yeah. That stuff. I'm looking into that. It's just kind of like having this much money tied up when I know I could pay my house off and not have to pay that mortgage.
Right.
Because then I have that money that I was using to pay my mortgage. I'm able to reinvest that. And of course I was paying over mortgage, to try to pay it down. So yeah, I just, I think rather than continue to pay interest on the home, I'm only at 3.4% interest.
Right.
But
Still interest. Yeah.
Still interest. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of savings stuff?
Yes, I do have pretty good savings.
Yeah, like 100K, 200K?
Not that good.
Okay, so less than 100K, more than 50K?
Yeah.
Okay. You have 401K for the restaurant business?
I do
Retirement?
I do believe we have that set up. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so you probably don't. Okay.
Probably don't. That's probably what
he's probably like, what do you, if you don't know, you don't know. But that's fine. So the reason why I ask you all this is because the metric this is really great. You're kind of looking long term. There's something that we need to really analyze here. This is going to be a longer video, guys. So I'm actually going to break this video. I'm not going to break it up. I'm going to basically do a little bit of cutting. But I'll pan through here real quick. So this is the stack of commons and rares and uncommons. We don't have time to break it out. I think this is. I think you did a really great job preserving kind of the cases and everything. That's nice. Are these all in a bank vault usually? Is that how that you're starting? Okay.
Yes.
So
Credit union vault.
Credit union vault. Okay.
Yep.
Heath, what do you think, man?
I think if that Vesuvian was a 9, that would already be sold. I'd buy that pretty quick. But I think it's amazing. So, Jeremy and I randomly met at a LGS. I was looking for raw cards to grade, and we just started talking. And he said he was collecting graded alpha. I was graded Arabians, and we just kind of hit it off. So for a guy not being on social media, I think he's put together a pretty
Social
amazing
media is
set.
bad.
So
All right, hold on a second. Let me cut this video. So you guys basically had a date collecting magic, huh? When you guys first met.
we
The
did.
girl that worked at the store was kind of freaking out when we started talking. She was sitting behind the counter, and she was a little bit younger, and she had no idea what the hell we were talking about. And she found it kind of odd that we were able to stand there and talk for that long about stuff. And she listened, but she didn't.
We met another guy that same day that's on the graded group with us, and he had some sealed beta starters and some other stuff that he had collected. So it was just kind of a cool, happenstance that a couple graders wound up at the same.
You're not on social media at all?
No, absolutely not.
Why is that?
There's all kinds of reasons why.
Yeah. Main reason, trolling?
Yeah, trolling, and you just have a higher opinion of people when you don't see all their business.
Got it. You like pure privacy.
Yeah, I like to meet
Respect
people, and they'll tell me what they want, and I'll make my own opinion from that.
Good. All right. So basically, the principal on this, Jeremy said it was $70K, approximately.
70K invested.
Okay. So guys, get your graphing calculators out. Tell me what you guys can calculate here. I'm going to pan a little bit. Lotus is a 7.5. I definitely think it's okay. Here's something tricky about Lotuses. Even though it says near mint on the label, that does not mean it's near mint, meaning like it's an ungraded near mint. Okay. The front looks really clean. So there's two things to understand. The front looks much cleaner than the back. The back actually looks more of like a LP, right? Lightly plate-ish. Has some play wear. Beckett's kind of fickle about it. They sometimes mark this as edge wear, or sometimes they wear as surface wear. I'm more critical about it. I pretty much call it surface wear. I think it's surface wear. Looks like what happened here is you didn't really care about 8.5s, 9s, whatever. You just wanted to have a kind of a overall 8.5 set.
What happened was the guy in Albuquerque, he hit me up and he said, I have a Black Lotus for sale. And I didn't own a single alpha card at the time. I went and I looked at the Lotus, and that's real. That was actually what really started me, now come to think of it. I said I got the commons and uncommons first, but it really was that Lotus that I got first, because once I got that Lotus from him, and then I decided to get, because I wanted silver labels. I wasn't concerned about the numbers. I was concerned about the color of the labels. You see what I'm saying? Because you got gold labels, silver labels, and white labels.
Got it.
So I just wanted all the labels to match. So to me, like, there's an equal amount of 8.5s and 9s because I wasn't trying to get one or the other.
Got it. Okay.
But it really started with that Lotus, and I wish I would have said that in the other video there before I.
No. The video's continuing.
Oh,
it's all edited together.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry.
All right.
So guys, there's a nice variety here. Obviously, prices have changed over the years. So this is a really great assortment here. I did an alpha video where there's a guy who had an ungraded set. He wanted some ridiculous number like $310,000 for an ungraded set. It wasn't even as good a condition as this.
Wow.
So
raise my price.
It's not gonna. Well, no. It was a complete set, and it's also it's actually not going to sell for that price at all. So the problem with this is that I think it's a very interesting conversation. Heath probably understand, like, this has now become like a house, and people. The question is there enough cash flow in the high end Magic world that people can say, hey, let's drop a couple $100,000 or so on an alpha set, snap of the finger. And what we're finding is these are like Ferraris, and cash flow is low. A lot of people have trade. They're like, well, I can trade you or do payments. Mm-hmm. But Heath, you do Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Is it hard? It's hard to liquefy this, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when I find an upgrade to my set, it's usually a one-off card that I'm selling, right? So it's not often that you find somebody that's looking for 50 of the cards at once or something, right? So really just depends on what people are collecting at the time and what their needs are. There might be somebody that's like, gosh, I kind of missed the boat buying alpha, and it would be impossible to get 250 cards. And then there's an opportunity. So I think it just, it's probably timing and who's looking for what, right?
Right. And you were saying, like, earlier, one part of the video, like, you would probably buy the Vesuvian if it was a 9, for example.
Yeah.
And are there specific cards you might have an affinity to? Jeremy, are you opposed to breaking the setup versus actually selling it together?
No, I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. Yeah. So you wanted me to do an appraisal. I happen to just fly in town to see Heath and hang out. We're going to do a little poker night here in a second. I'm going to tell you guys a couple of things. One of the biggest concerns that I've noticed have is that the prices have hit really, really like 5-figure level, right? Multi-5-figure level. And they have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for every of these cards, right? This is becoming an issue in the sense that when there's too much in the market at once, right? It becomes saturated. And so there's too many of high-end cards, which if you go on eBay right now, there's tons of like cards like this.
Yeah.
Now, you see an Alpha Lotus, you see a Mox, you see a Dual Land, you see whatever. There's tons of cards like that. So the problem what's going on is that there's so much of it out there and they're just sitting, they're not selling. And it becomes a situation where what do? You just list it on eBay and basically compete as the best offer. So at a certain point, you have to sell the cards, take profits. So the idea of taking profits requires you to stomach and realize that, well, I'm not going to get the retail price. Right. It's impossible. So your investment is $70K. You're going to make obviously way more than that. Okay, that's a guarantee. So my feeling, and really what you should do, I think the best thing for you to do here, do you have a time frame to pay off the house, or you just want to do this? No. Okay, you don't really, you don't need money.
Yeah, it's not that I need the money. I just want to
get it done.
Have payments and quit paying interest.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have the time to negotiate, broker, hand deliver, travel like Dan Chang, and just do deals?
Absolutely not. I have family business to run.
Okay, so how many hours are you working?
Work about 50 a week.
So what's up? Wave, what's your name?
Nate.
How are you?
All right.
Are you starstruck?
He's starstruck.
He is.
By who?
He's ready to win some poker money.
I'm Starbucks drunk.
Okay.
Starbucks drunk.
We're going to play some poker in a second. So you don't want to spend the time to do the work?
Not necessarily.
What does that mean?
That means I have other stuff I'd rather do.
Okay. Why don't you do this? Why don't you just broker it and just have someone sell it for you?
It's a good suggestion. Hadn't thought of that.
So that's the suggestion. So let me close this off. Heath, come over here. Let's finish up this video.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts in this next part of the video. Hold on a second. All right, we're back. We're going to poison me today? So it's 6,000 feet above sea level. If I get a little crazy because of this Diet Coke, I'll let you guys know. Here in a second. Hi, it's me, Taste. I love it. It's our friend Randy. He's like a gaming channel. Taste Gaming, guys, Canada. Randy Porter is one of our friends, mutual friends. Heath and I, we like to make fun of him. Okay. We like messing around. He's a really high voice, really energetic, really good guy. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. This is my final thoughts. I want to wrap this up. Here are your options, because we've gone through all the options. I want you guys to think about this. You don't need the money fast, which is good. You also are making money off this deal, so it's not like you're like, let's say you bought this for 200 something. Right. You're kind of like, no, I'm already in the money. Yep. So I think the best thing to do to pay off your house is to break up the set. And because you said that you don't want to do the work to sell the cards necessarily, because it's a time, it's money, you work at your family business.
And it's risk.
It's risk. Yep. You have to ship it. You have to do all the negotiations and shipping, and it could be lost. Yep. Some guy in Europe's barking at you, whatever, right? It doesn't matter.
I've been burned before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the best thing to consider is to probably, the thing is, if you're watching this video, if you're interested in the set, just go to vintagemagic.com, contact us, and message me and let me know if you're interested in buying the set. I can talk to Jeremy and we can work something out. But the reality is, I'm just going to tell you off the gate, most people that I work with, high-end clients, they are very particular to what they want to collect. So what that means is, for example, let's pan over here. The Lotus, they might say, I wanted a 5 minimum. Oh, you know what, Dan? I also want all the duels to be 9s. They have to be 9s. Or they might be Heath, and they'd be like, you know what? They have to all be quad plus. Quad, right? With your soul ring, right? So the challenge here, like kind of what was talked about earlier, is that collectors may not gravitate towards a 7.5. And what happens is that, let's say they buy this as a starting point. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, I'm going to now have to calculate some math, and I'm going to have to sell some of the stuff. I'm going to have to like upgrade, do all that work. But that defeats the entire purpose of buying the set. The other problem of this entire equation is you actually don't have an entire set here. You're actually missing some key cards.
Correct.
So 3 duels, blue duel, the 3
There's not
blue,
birds.
Birds? There's no birds.
There's no birds.
Okay, that's another big one. So no Chaos Orb, no birds, no Sapphire, and no 3 blues. So that's 6 cards. 6 really expensive cards. Multiple 5 figures, right?
Time Vault.
Time Vault Night. What happened to your memory earlier?
It's coming back.
It's all coming back to
the
you now?
Rockies.
I know,
We're in the
it's been a
Rockies.
long day. I hope your poker game is better. Jesus.
Oh, we'll see.
All right.
I hope it's worse.
I hope it's worth. I hope you continue the trend that you're going, Jeremy.
Yep.
All right. So here's what I think. Jeremy would like to pay off his house at 180K, right? My impression with all the fees and all the work and brokering stuff, it's going to be hard. The reason why is, unfortunately, I've had people, offer me nicer sets for about $225, $230, and they just want the cash and move on, right? And my feeling is you're probably going to have to be net to you to sell the set. You're probably going to have to be about $140, $135. You're still making money, but you're losing a gap for the broker, right?
That's it.
Now, let's say you sell it yourself. You pay some of the fees, all the work, all that. You might go to like 170, right? Something like that, right? But 180 is absolutely, it's just too hard. And 170 is high, in my opinion. So my feeling is that in today's market, there's a lot of work that's involved, and the saturation of the market. My guess is net to you, 130, 135 is kind of the median value, if that makes sense, right? You might be able to sell some singleton cards for a decent retail price, but as a whole set, that kind of thing, it's going to be really hard.
Okay.
So my feeling is if you want to go about this, you don't have the rush, sell some of the cards for retail prices. Work with a broker, work with whoever you want, and break up the set over time, pay off that home, like write that check for 10K, write that check for 20K, whatever, right? Use that money to reinvest it. But you're not going to be able to just get one big check. I mean, you could. Like a guy like me, I'll buy from you like tomorrow, right? But you're going to have to eat a lot of the potential breakup profits. And if you're willing to do that, time value money, then that can happen. We can arrange that, right?
I might just wait a couple years and call you again.
That's fine too. You could hold it. You don't need the money.
Right.
It could go up more. It can go up less. So, I mean, it's not going to go up more fast right now because the market is very saturated.
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Heath, thanks again. Jeremy, thanks for bringing that set.
Anytime.
If you guys have questions, if you guys agree or disagree, let me know. Put it in the comments below. Thanks again, man.
Hey everyone, it's me, Daniel with VintageMagic.com. I want to share with you more about how we handle consignments. So to begin the consignment process, we actually need to start with the consultation service. In this consultation, I will determine what you're looking to do. And generally, consigners usually tell me, hey Dan, I'm looking to sell my items and maximize the value of their collection. After we determine through the consultation, I usually like to do an appraisal process. And an appraisal process in terms of a consignment is more fitted towards authenticity and valuation for current market values. From there, after a contract is crafted and signed, we will then receive the items from you. The reason why our consignment process is very thorough is we also identify cards that could be graded so then they can maximize higher dollar values. So the payment process is very simple. Once we have sold your items, you'll get an updated ledger and we will process payment for whatever form of payment you need. As a consignor, you're gonna experience our white glove service. What that means is I'm gonna personally handle your collectibles from beginning to end. And rest assured, the client that purchases your collectibles will also receive the same white glove service. It's a signature service that I really pride myself on in working closely with my clients.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.